performers from Duisburg High School. This is my accompanist, Janelle Audi. I will be performing Vanilla Ice Cream from the musical She Loves Me by Harnick and Bach, and I will be portraying Amalia. It's a really long explanation. So in the show, Amalia has a dear friend, or a pen pal. They write to each other all the time, and they are in love. They have never met before and decide to set up a date at a cafe. Neither one of them knows what the other looks like, so they decide that she will bring an item so that he will be able to recognize her when she shows up. Well, Amalia shows up first, and she's waiting and waiting, and in walks George, her co-worker, who she despises. They can't stand each other, and they just fight and argue all the time, so they just do not get along. Well, little does she know that George is also there to meet his dear friend, and they had set up this date at this cafe, and she was going to bring an item that he would be able to recognize her by. And through this, he enters and he sees her. He sees the item. He realizes she is his dear friend. So he goes over to her table and asks her what she's doing all alone, and he sits down and he just talks to her. Well, Amalia is so mad. She can't believe that he would come and ruin her date with this man that she has never met before, and she's just so upset. So, well, George eventually leaves, and Amalia is just devastated that her date never showed up. So she goes home, and she calls in sick the next day because she's just depressed, and she just can't be seen in public. So George knows that she called in sick, and he just feels awful because he knows it was his fault that she's all upset. So he comes over to her house to apologize and brings her some vanilla ice cream, which is where the song Vanilla Ice Cream comes in. And George is aware that she is his dear friend, but she doesn't know. So throughout the song, she realizes that he is in fact her dear friend. So yeah. Dear friend, I am so sorry about last night. It was a nightmare in every way. But together, you and I will have it last night someday. Ice cream, he brought me ice cream, vanilla ice cream, imagine that. Ice cream, and for the first time, we were together without a spat. Friendly, he was so friendly, that isn't like him, I'm simply stunned. Will wonders never cease, will wonders never cease, it's been a most peculiar day. Will wonders never cease, will wonders never cease. Oh, where was I? I'm so sorry about this, I was trying to turn every way, but together you and I will have it last night someday. I sat there waiting in that cafe, and never guessing that you were fat. That you were near, you were outside looking bald. Dear friend, I am so sorry about last night. Last night, I was so nasty. Well, he deserved it, but even so, that George is not like this George. This is a new George that I don't know. Somehow, it all reminds me of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. When right before my eyes, a man that I despise has turned into a
Wow, what an amazing voice you have. That was ridiculous.
Thank you.
I want to hear a couple little things. I'm going to be really, really picky just in case you go to state.
Yeah.
So you have some things. Okay, what I want to hear again is, let's take it from, I'm sure no one would mind hearing your high note again, so let's go before and after that. Take it from he came to offer me, and we've got that for 3 beats. And I love when you hold notes. I want to hear it longer. I think you cut off after like 1. So let's just hold that so I can hear that whole big note. And then when you get to cream, I know you're like so relieved that that high note's over that you're not thinking about taking a good breath, right? So this time, let's focus on the breath after, and then get your cream as long as you possibly can. Okay. Now, if you can handle also adding this, here's what I want to hear. You have this amazing, huge vibrato, right? You can do that. It seems like you have such control over it. So just to add a little extra coolness at the end, I want to see if you can hold cream straight for like the first maybe 4 measures even, and then add your really gorgeous vibrato just to make it even better, right? Just clinch it, okay? So here's what you're thinking about. You're going to hold me, take a huge breath before cream, straight tone, vibrato. All right, here we go, here we go.
Okay. He came to offer me
that was a lot. Okay, if I'm going to be really, really picky, the only other thing is on measure 66 when you go, that George is not like, and you hit your allegro, your character is totally losing control, right? So it's kind of easy to lose control of some of those little notes, especially the little ends. So let's just do that little section one more time, and I want you personally to have complete control over it, even though she's losing it. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
See? That George is not like this George. This is a new George that I don't know. Somehow it all reminds me of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. When right before my eyes, a man that I despise has turned into a man I like. It's almost like a dream, and strange as it may seem.
Okay, very nice. Could you kind of tell?
Yeah.
Go back one more time and just do this, like the that George is not like this George. The no. There's just a couple tiny little things, so I want you to really focus on it. One more time.
That George is not like this George. This is a new George that I don't know.
Very nice. And I think part of it's just on your break, right? Where you're just kind of like, I'm going to hit that down. Good. So if you can just think, like, when you're getting crazy angry, huge consonants, and then you don't have to worry so much about, like, your voice cracking because you're so intense that it just goes nuts on you. Okay?
Yeah.
Very, very nice. I'm being so picky right now because you really did a really, really nice job. Good job.